Across the generations, we have carried the flame. We fought the injustice, sang the songs, spoke for truth, and built something lasting. We join in the line, and we carry the flame forward.
Across the generations, we are tending the flame. Hand in hand, together we share in the work of fighting injustice, singing the songs, speaking the truth, and we are here to build something lasting. We join in the line and we carry the flame forward.
Across the generations, we have been nourished by this flame. We are singing new songs, breaking old barriers, sharing in the work, and as we find our own space in what has been, we are here to make space for the next person as well. We join in the line and we carry the flame forward.
Across the generations, this flame comes to us. We are here for the songs, for the justice, for the community sharing the work. We are here now, too, to build something new and lasting. We are ready for a new day together. We join in the line, and we carry the flame forward.
Good morning. Good morning. My name is Lois Phillips. My pronouns are she and hers, and our church shares a covenant that we make with one another, a promise that helps to remind us of why we gather and how we want to be with one another. Please rise in body or spirit and join me in saying our covenant together. We unite to strengthen the bonds of kinship among all persons, to promote human dignity, and to increase reverence for life's creating, sustaining, and transforming power through worship, study, and service. And if you would remain standing, we're going to sing our opening hymn, number 1, May Nothing Evil Cross This Door. It's in the gray hymnals.
Humans make maps of stars, choosing some and ignoring others to project our imaginations onto the heavens. These maps shift over time and across cultures. Names change for the assemblages of light: the drinking gourd, the Big Dipper, the plow, the lost hunters, and the Sapta Sharishi. Humans make constellations by connecting stars. Humans make meaning by connecting stories. Story to story and narrative to narrative. Some blaze bright and some are faint. Most are a backdrop to the great and mundane human unfolding. Let us today imagine the story of our lives in a starry universe above our heads. As leaders of this congregation, we are tasked and trusted to draw constellations in this, our beloved and small universe. May the stories we draw connect and create constellations that reflect a shared ministry that calls out the best in each and every one of us. Thus ends the reading. Good morning, all. My name is Reverend Pam Romancic. I'm the co-minister of this welcoming, vibrant, wonderful church. I'm queer, white, cisgendered woman whose pronouns are she and hers. Whoever you are, whatever successes you've had, wherever you've learned about yourself, wherever you've grown, whatever identities or experiences you bring with you this morning, you are welcome here. I'm going to invite our young and young at heart up for our Wonder Box. Good morning. Come on up. So today is our annual meeting Sunday, which means the grown-ups all gather and talk about what it means to be community and how we can be in community really well. So I'm wondering if you could think for a minute. What could be in our box this morning? Yeah. Could be air molecules. Could be. You're right. It's 100% that they're air molecules. Any other guesses of what could be? Yes, Benji. A flower could be in there? Yes. Any other ideas? Yes. Bacon. Okay. It could be. A squirrel. You've been here, you know. Something, that is our call. Okay, who have you opened it before? Would you like to open our Wonder Box today? Let's see what we have. What is it? It is a candle holder. It's very heavy. Yes, it's people holding hands in a circle. It's heavy. There's a big one over there. Yes, that one wouldn't fit in the box though, would it? No, so we wouldn't have been able to fool you. Okay, so that's what we're talking about, community. And now we have a story this morning. Debbie Lee, I think, is going to, Margaret is going to do our story. Fabulous.
Yes, we have a story. Hello, my name is Margaret Myron, and my pronouns are she and her. And we are ready for the story for all ages. A Little Spot of Belonging, written and illustrated by Diane Albert. There it is. Hi, I'm a little spot of belonging. Belonging is a feeling that you get when you have a great friend, or when you're part of a group, or when you're part of a community that supports you. It's also a feeling of confidence and loving who you are. Every human on this planet wants to feel like they belong, and we all have the power to help others feel that way. You might already feel like you belong somewhere, like your family, or in a club, or a band, a team, or at school. There are so many places that you can belong. And when you belong, you feel valued, safe, calm, and accepted. And those are amazing feelings, right? Did you know that you can help others feel like they belong too? You can do this by showing kindness. And it's easy to show kindness. For example, you could ask someone to play. You could invite someone to a party. Share your things. Lend a hand when someone needs help. I'm here to help everyone feel like they belong. Because when you feel like you don't belong, well, you can feel lonely, scared, and angry. Not belong is when you feel left out or excluded. It's the feeling you get, you think that maybe kids don't like you. It's why belonging needs to start with you first. It's important to like yourself, believe in yourself, and care for yourself, because you are amazing. And when you start to do that, making friends becomes a lot easier. For example, confidence can show when you smile. And now if you pair a smile with introducing yourself, you'll be on your way to making new friends in no time. I like to use Hi, my name is Margaret, but you'd put in your own name. Now, asking questions is another great way to show someone that you want to be their friend. When you ask questions, it gives you a chance to build a connection. You might even find you have something in common. So I, the Spot, made this chart to give you some ideas of what to ask. Some of the things you can ask might be, do you like dogs? What did you have for dinner? What do you like in school? Do you like to build a rock pile? And lots of other things I'm sure you can come up with. So conversations can be a little tricky because sometimes they require teamwork. Let's think of conversations like a game of catch with a ball. And when the ball is tossed, you ask a question like, what did you do this weekend? And when the ball is caught, you can answer the question like, well, I went to the park. And when the ball is tossed again, you ask another question like, what did you do this weekend? And you catch the ball and answer again, I went swimming. So, if we were to practice, we might say, hey kids, what's your favorite food? I like pizza too. What's your favorite animal? I like dogs. Oh, I like dogs. So another essential part of belonging is making sure that everyone is included. So if you see someone standing alone, nearby, we'll go and ask them to join you. Including other people can make things more fun. And it's also a great way to make new friends. Now, sometimes you might want to belong so badly that when you see a friend making what you think is a bad choice, you might feel the need to join in too. But instead of joining in, you should say something to stop it. So having the courage to stand up for what is right is always the better choice. So, says the Spot, I know we covered a lot. And there is still so much more to learn. But if we all practice being kind to ourselves and to others, well, one day everyone in this world will feel like they belong. Let's see.
Thank you, Margaret. And now we're going to sing our children out.
As you go, may joy surround you. As you go, go in peace. Know our love is with you always. As you go, as you go. We're going to have a little special time. This is the time when we remember how we're all gathered together. And so I have some people that are going to be passing out lifesavers. So anybody that's willing to be passer-outers, go on and grab a basket. Many people come into this faith and they tell us that they never imagined Unitarian Universalism existed. It felt like a lifesaver thrown out into a sea of confusion and judgment. Wait. Don't just give them out willy-nilly. Wait. Sorry.
We needed to, just like Unitarian Universalism, we needed more instructions.
So sorry. I'm so grateful you're passing out, but in a minute. This church doesn't just exist despite all of the people that are so eager to make things happen. It comes from the hard work and dedication of so many people that are here. And as we get ready for our annual meeting, we're going to take a few minutes to recognize people, and we're going to give them a roll of lifesavers. So please stand up as your name or your group is called, and then our lifesaver people will be on you, and you will get your lifesavers.
You're awesome. We begin with our elected officials. Can all the Board of Trustees members please stand up? President Gary Labette, Vice President Mike Berry, Secretary Pat Wydell, Treasurer Rick Raybarn. We are saying goodbye, actually, to Dan Yokas and Peggy Simonson, who have completed those terms. We thank you for serving this church deeply. Bailey Pierce, Ryan Shafkus, did I get it? I got it. It's mine. And Elizabeth Van Orden will continue on. Nominating committee members, please stand as well. They are led by our convener, Margaret Myron, who actually took on the life-saving job of taking the flame back to the kids today, but we'll be back. So when she comes back in, we'll thank her and we'll give her a thing of lifesavers. And we bid farewell to Joyce Simon, who is going on to bigger and better things. Safety team, thank you so much to Tom.
People can sit down after they get, because
You can sit down after you've gotten your lifesavers, apparently. Again, instructions continue, much like Unitarian Universalism. You think you got it, and then you go, oh, maybe there's a little bit more. Safety team, Tom, Dempsey, there we go. Reverend Scott Giles, Cindy Thornton, and, of course, Lori in the office.
We say a special thanks this year to the ministerial search team, Judy Ball, Michael Lunter, Elizabeth Van Orden, Pat Wydell, and Amy Zakowski. You can stand up, but if you've already gotten your one set, you don't need two. Sorry, you probably should get two. You might too. We also recognize the folks on our questionable behavior response team, Doree, Carolina, Matt, these folks who manage the endowment, Ed Munson, Bob, Kevin, Linda, and Craig. Also, a big thanks to our identity and communication volunteers who begin church design elements, Elizabeth Van Orden, Bailey Pierce, Avery Pierce, and Emily Chang. Just stand up, and if you haven't gotten your... I know, you're going to be standing up. Go ahead, stand up, Emily. No, she says no. Thanks to Tom McTavish and Siri Lauren, who oversee our membership and welcoming in newcomers into the offering a path to membership. And our lay pastoral care team, who has been very busy this past year. Ellen Vinzani took over after a 20-year run by Ken Bobby. You could stand up, Ken. And we've welcomed new members, Lisa Christensen, Ken Sipos, Bob Dodo, and the regular Helen, Barbara, Joy, and Mary. So we're grateful for all of them. Thank you, Mary.
We want to thank the safety team. We've already done that. Thank you again, though. We're so excited that you're here and helping us to be safe. We thank everyone who works with our youth. We did this last weekend as well, but our parents who bring in materials, clean and throw things away, show up even when it's hard to do. If you're a parent, please stand. All of our teachers who show up and mend hearts, knees, open minds with quiet patience and help our children recognize their inherent worth and dignity. To all the members of the congregation who have come back into the back at some time this year to help out in Faith in Action Days, offering your talents and skills to enrich the lives of our kids, all of these people help smooth the way for our children, offering them their gifts and strengths that they need to grow and thrive in this sometimes challenging world. Our senior high youth advisors, our nursery volunteers. Next, we want to say thank you to everybody who's led an adult exploration class. Please rise as you are able. Pat Wydell and Susan Ald, and to everyone who has led a class in the past year. Thanks to our young adult leader, Hayden Pierce, and to everyone who's led a game night or a murder mystery potluck or anything that we don't even know about that goes around in the back. It's a happening thing. Please stand up.
This building itself has seen a lot of transformation over the past 2 years. We're in the process right now. We just got a new roof, and we're about to put on more solar panels over the hallway. So we're going to thank, yay, everybody who made that happen, including all the members of the Green Sanctuary team. Everybody stand up, Green Sanctuary folks. And then Rick Rayborn, Steve Black, and Lori Lance, who were doing the on-hand work of just crossing T's and dotting I's. To all the folks who have cleaned, repaired, painted, and scrubbed this building. There's so much patching going on that just looks beautiful. So we're saying thanks to Jeannie, to Don Back, to Paul Ostrowski, to Lois Phillips, who keeps everything organized and cleaned and put together. Yay, thank you, Lois. And related to all the folks who work on the outside of the building, so those who have planted or weeded or cut down trees, or worked so hard to keep invasive species out of the ditch. So Derek, Mike, and Lillian, and Siri, and anybody else who's pitched in, make sure you stand up. Still out there.
We'll get outside and into the office to get them their due. Thank you to all the people who lead something in this church, a book club, a discussion group, an ongoing spiritual practice. If you show up on a regular basis and offer your time to fellow congregants, I'd like you to stand up. Melanie Turbobeck, Vid Axel, Barbara Griggs, Nancy Frank, Cindy Thornton, Andrew Cranberg, George and Kathy Motto, Barb Brahe, Mary Beth, Julie, and all of those who worked so hard to make the Seder dinner happen once again, Linda Berry, Edie Reese, Carol Bobby, all of you make this place part of what it is. We also want to thank you if you care for the wider world around us. Our Justice Manor folks look outside these walls to what it is that's happening. If you work with this group, if you are part of the welcoming congregation like Dan Yokas, if you lead the Justice Matters like Bill Scowen, if you are with Alan Greenland as they're putting signs across the overpass to show up for No Kings demonstrations, to all of you folks who support the Chalice House in any way, to Yvette and her minions who offer fair trade goods, Janet, that would be you standing up now, once a month, and to everyone who sent a letter, brought in food or drug bottles, or just showed up to put chairs away after the event. Why aren't you all standing?
And we did, when we were in building, we forgot to say thank you to Peggy Simonson, who keeps all these plants alive by coming and watering them every week. Thank you, Peggy. We also thank all of the people who raise the money that keeps all of this afloat. Thanks to Jeff Phillips and all the folks who worked on Music with a Mission. Yeah. To the Time and Talent Auction colleagues, Mari Van Meter and Nancy Dempsey, and all the folks who worked on that giant undertaking, which raised a record $41,000. Thanks to those who planned and orchestrated the end of the year Giving Tuesday, led by Rick Rayborn, and the Stewardship Drive folks, Bob, John, Gary, Debbie, and anybody else, Lori, anybody else I'm not forgetting. So if you were part of Stewardship, you guys stand up, stand up. Thanks to our finance committee, Bob Spielman, Debbie Lee, Rick Rayborn, Crystal Cotton, Gary Lebeds, and Comptroller Lori Kerrigan, and George Motto. Thank you so much for taking care of our finances.
I know you all thought you got out of that up and down thing, didn't you? Ha! Last but certainly not least, thanks to everybody who supports Sunday worship, to our ushers, to our greeters, led by Karen Epps, Lisa, Mike, Gilly, and the music makers, the newly reconstituted music committee chaired by Karen Narani. You get to stand up at least once. Thank you. and Allison Vernon and her faithful choir members. You can all stand up. To the Countryside Band, led by Tom Dempsey and Jeff Phillips, with all its various evolving members. The string folks, Alan, Karen, Hamilton, Janice, who bring such depth. To Jeff and Ed and Mike Gillies, who support of Luis. To all of our Tending the Spark volunteers, Mark, this is when you get to stand up, in the band and in the kitchen, Mark, Maggie, Mary, Nancy, Deb, Cindy, Elizabeth, Dave, Kim, Paul, and Mari. And finally, to A deep, deep debt of gratitude to the Reverend Dr. Scott Giles for his preaching, for his teaching, and for his coming and showing up for us in his busy life to be a community minister.
To all of our worship associates who train and practice and bring their best to you each week, led by Lois again. Thanks for passing out lifesavers. Everybody who's passing out lifesavers, you guys get to keep them as well. And finally, of course, a big thank you to David Williams in the kitchen. Yay. No, I am very human. We are very fallible. And so if anybody got left off this list that didn't get, please stop and pick up your lifesavers and stand up now, please. If we have not mentioned you and you've done stuff, stand up. That's the amazing thing about these Sundays is everybody, and if you didn't stand up this year, you're going to stand up next year. I trust you. We also thank you for our hardworking staff members, for Allison Vernon, for Janice Razik, for Luis Diaz, and last but not least, for Lori Lance. Yes. This church is the community of ourselves. Its resources and gifts are our resources.
If you have stood up once today, please stand up now so we can all recognize you. And if you didn't stand up when it was your turn, please stand up anyway. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you for offering a life-saving community to the wider world. Our collection will now be gratefully received. Blessings. I invite you to take a deep breath in. Relaxing breath out, letting any tension that you brought with your shoulders roll down your back, down your legs, out the bottoms of your feet, into the rich, dark earth below. You can turn anything that we send to her and compost it and turn it into love. Breathe into that love for just a moment. For this one moment, know that you are loved, that you are safe and whole. Know that you belong here amongst all of these folks, here upon this earth, here in your body. However tired or broken your heart may be this morning, whatever fear or disappointment or even anger you carry, for this hour, know that you are not alone. Feel the presence of all the other people sitting in this room with you, surrounding you, breathing beside you, breathing with you. Discovering together the way our voices rise and then fall together in harmony and in hope. Claim here a resilient freedom, the choice for love, for light, the choice to live with joy and gratitude and praise as a form of resistance to everything that would tear us down. You are not alone. And I'm going to invite one of our lay pastoral care ministers, Mary Johnson, up to share this week's joys and concerns.
Good morning, folks. I am Mary Johnson. I'm a member of the lay/care ministry, and my pronouns are she, hers. We recognize many joys and concerns within our congregation. You can also find it in the weekly e-news. You could call Reverend Pam or Reverend Karen. You could contact anyone on the lay ministry team, or you could simply leave a message with the church office. This week, Allison Fowler shares that she will be in the hospital for surgery this week. We wish you speedy healing, Allison. Barbara Griggs shares that her sister fell and broke 2 bones in her foot. This is after a recent hip replacement and broken femur. We are so sorry, Barbara, and we send our love and healing energy to both Pat and to you. Siri Lauren shares that she is now a master naturalist. Aren't we lucky to have her applying those credentials on our church grounds? Congratulations and thank you, Siri. Allison Vernon shares that their son Gary tests for his 5th degree Taekwondo belt later this month. We wish him well in his preparations and for the test. Everyone, please reach out to let us know what's going on in your life and if you need support or want to share a celebration. Thank you.
Sacred Presence, root us in belonging so deep we cannot fall alone. Strip away any illusion of separateness and awaken in us a sense of kinship so wide it undoes every wall. May we move from me to we as a sacred to return to who we truly are. For any other intentions with rest in the sacred sanctuary of your heart this morning, know that you are held and you are loved. Please join me in singing Spirit of Life. I just want to add that Karen Epps, although her name was written down here, it was not spoken aloud, and Debbie Lee were also not thanked. So Karen and Debbie, you need your lifesavers as well. This is what happens when you have ministers that it was written down. We just went over it. Sorry.
First reading is History's Road by Marjorie Bowens-Wheatley and Clyde Grubbs. We have become a global village with a growing realization of how fragile our earth is and how interconnected we are to each other and to all of creation. We cannot continue to live in the old way. We must make a change, see a new way, a way toward peace with justice and a healthy planet. Where are we to find the courage to begin this work? We know that a different tomorrow is possible, but how can we build it? We think of the prophets, men and women who voiced unpopular opinions, who made personal sacrifices, and sometimes lost their lives, all for the sake of justice. We think of Isaiah, who called out to let those who are held in captivity go free, to give solace to the poor and the homeless. Let us be inspired by all who work to overcome misery, poverty, and exploitation. We think of Harriet Tubman, who called out to people of goodwill to join her on her Underground Railroad, to lift a dehumanized people from bondage of slavery to the promise of freedom, even when it meant challenging unjust laws. Let us be inspired by those who are outlaws for freedom. We think of Gandhi, whose belief in soul force, the witness to love's truth, helped to overthrow the oppression of an empire and gave witness to the way of nonviolent action. Let us be inspired to become witnesses for peace. We think of Chief Seattle, who reminded us that we belong to the earth, not the earth to us. Let us be inspired by all those who work for the healing of creation, of Mother Earth and all her creatures. Who are the prophets who inspire you? They may be well known or known only to you, offering personal inspiration, courage, and hope. May they join a great cloud of witnesses to a new way of life, a way of peace and justice, the way of justice lived according to the way of peace, the beloved community. Thus ends the first reading. And now we have a responsive reading, you and me. So let's see, here we go. So I will be the L leader and Lois, and you are the R respondents, I guess. I want to be with people who submerge in the task. Who stand in the line and haul in their places. The work of the world is common as mud. Botched, it smears the hands and crumbles to dust. Greek amphoras for wine or oil, Hopi vases that held corn are put in museums, but you know they were made to be used. Last reading is Belonging by Rosemary Watola Tromer. And if it is true we are alone together, the way blades of grass are alone, but exist as a field. Sometimes I feel it, the green fuse that ignites us, the wild thrum that unites us, an inner hum that reminds us of our shared humanity. Just as 35 trillion red blood cells join in one body to become one blood, just as 136,000 notes make up one symphony. Alone as we are, our small voices weave into one big conversation. Our actions are essential, and they're essential to the one infinite story of what it is to be alive. When we feel alone, we belong to the grand communion of those who sometimes feel alone. We are the dust that hopes, the rising of dust, the thrill of dust, the dust that dances in the light with all the other dust, the dust that makes the world. And thus ends our reading.
When I was a young mother in my 20s, I was trying to figure out what the heck it meant to be a grown-up. I thought I should have it figured out if I was going to be raising my children, even though I was barely out of childhood myself. And so I looked around my life, and I found 4 women whose wisdom and whose lives I admired. They were my Aunt Dot, my ex's Aunt Anne, a cousin named Jan, and a family friend named Annie. And each of them exemplified some part of womanhood that I admired and that I wanted to bring forth in my own life. My Aunt Dot, she personified joy. She was the member of the family who passed on all the good family stories. And even now, when I think about her, I think of a person with a big smile and those crinkly eyes, because she just always had that way of approaching life. She was still volunteering at a hospital at the age of 90, and they threw a big party for her. And she knew a lot of tragedy in her life. Her husband had died in his 40s, and one of her sons died of heart disease at his 30s. But you'd never know it from being with her, because she found a way to embrace what was alive and beautiful about life. Aunt Anne was a little bit more severe, but she modeled welcome in a way that I really appreciated, because I was a brand new member of her family, and when we went to visit in Pennsylvania, it felt as if I always belonged. She made a home that was so open and welcoming and accepting of everybody that I really wanted to carry that feeling on in my house when I've had one of my own. And then Jan was another person who modeled hospitality well. When we visited her, she always gave a young and awkward me some task to do in the kitchen so that I wasn't just standing there twiddling my thumbs. By including me in the meal prep, I felt more at ease and able to feel like I really had a space at that table and felt welcomed. And I vowed to try to make my guests feel that when I got older. And then Annie. Annie was a career woman who laughed easily, but who used her life to make a big difference in the world. Annie was stricken with polio in her childhood and couldn't use her legs at all. But boy, could she get around. When we first met her in my family when my dad was running the local Jimmy Carter campaign in Lorain, Ohio, and they sent her in to be the lead for the larger folks. And they had asked my parents, could somebody stay with us? And so my mom said, sure, we have room in the attic, 2 flights up. Annie got there and she said, nope, that's fine. And she scooted all around with her long blonde hair dragging on the ground behind her. And Annie taught me that limitations were what we let them be, and that we could do whatever I wanted. I could do whatever I wanted if I set my mind to it. And she stayed a beloved member of the family for a very long time. Each of these women were ordinary people who had a passion in their life and through their generous example offered me a guide for positive living and being life-affirming in my own life. As we mentioned, today is annual meeting day, and it's a time when all of your leaders, some of them change, some of them step up, and some decisions are made that affect the direction of where the church is going to be going from here on out. Some people skip out right after the service because the annual meeting's not the fun part of church. But I would argue it's one of the things that makes this place essential, because it gives everyone an opportunity to take ownership of this church. It's when each and every one of you engages and you become leaders of what's going to happen in this church. And when you think of leaders, you don't usually think of people like my Aunt Dot or Aunt Ann, people who live ordinary lives out of the spotlight. You might imagine more famous people like Mahatma Gandhi or Albert Einstein or Greta Thunberg. Each of those folks were inspiring not because they were famous, but because they did what they did with passion and integrity. They did what they did because that's who they were and that's how they brought themselves into the world. Anybody can be a leader because anybody can care deeply. In an article about Greta Thunberg, it quoted her as saying, being a leader is not about where you sit or your title or how much money you make. Being a leader is about defining your vision and your purpose, and then deciding what you're going to do with it. Defining your vision and your purpose, and deciding, making a conscious decision about how you are going to live your life in those ends. Any one of us can do that. Each of my successful models of being a grown-up, they did that. And they helped me to be grown-up as I grew into that identity as I got older. It's all about listening to your own heart, to your own, what is speaking to your spirit and what is calling you. Do you have anybody that has really inspired you in your life? I'm going to invite you just to take a minute and turn to groups of 3 or 4 and just share for just a minute some models that you might have had. lost our dings. Oh well. They just disappear. Yeah. Okay, we're just gonna go ding, 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 ding. We can't find our bells, but ding, 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 ding. It sounds like there's been a lot of inspiration going on out there, so you can continue this conversation later on or next week. It's a very good thing. Yeah, anybody want to share really quick one thing that stood out from someone you said? Mary shared that it never didn't occur to her that you can have more than one person. You can have aspects of different people. So there's all kinds of different ways we can look at people who inspire us. What do you see when you look inside yourself? What inspires you? What is your passion? So often we sit back and we wait for somebody else to fix what's broken. Somebody else will volunteer for that undone task, or somebody else will show up and do the work that's needed. Because we tell ourselves somebody is smarter or younger or stronger, or somebody who has more time could do it much better than I can. But we really know that's not true, right? I've seen so many people come into the church here, and they really like it. And they start coming regularly, and they like the people and the ethos of the church, but they leave right after the service. And they never go across over to coffee hour, which I admit can be terrifying if you're an introvert, yes. And still, you have to find some way to step in and have deeper conversations if you're ever going to claim this space as your own. Because those connections happen when you roll up your sleeves and when you get involved. They show up when you are an usher or a greeter regularly, and when you offer an event for the Time and Talent auction, or when you attend one of the many, many things that were offered at the Time and Talent auctions. It happens when you sit at a table with somebody taking tickets or getting signatures or doing something that they're always doing in Atherton Hall. It happens when you're cooking for an event or you're helping clean up afterwards. When you teach a class or when you lead something or when you just lead a meeting and you are the person that shows up and makes it happen. Anytime you see a need and you say, I can fit that need, and you show up. Because really, that's where the rubber hits the road. That's where you have time to talk about your kids. You have time to hear the amazing things that the other person is doing at their job. You have time to do that when you're working together, when you're out there pulling garlic mustard out of the prairie field. You can have a conversation with the person standing out there. We can get to know them better. I have another story from my 20s. We had just moved to Avon, Ohio, and started attending St. Mary's of the Immaculate Conception Church. I loved the priest, Father Egan. He was great and liked the church, but it was a small, tightly knit farm community, and I did not feel like I belonged. My kids were little, and I was working from home, so I didn't have a lot of time to attend meetings or volunteer for stuff. But one Sunday, when I was sitting up in the choir loft, because that's where you could hear my kids the least, I noticed how dirty it was, just dust and dirt, dust bunnies everywhere. So I called the office the following week and said, is it okay if I clean the loft? And they said, sure. So the next day I bought my kids and my polishing cloths and my buckets, and I cleaned the dickens out of that choir loft. It stayed clean a pretty long time, and I felt really good about it, and it became my church, because that section of it I had cleaned. I knew that church. And because I did that, the lady in the office got to point to know this odd young woman and who asked to clean. And she started talking to me more, and I started being empowered to take on a few more tasks. So before you knew it, I was teaching Sunday school, and then I became a Sunday morning lecturer, and then I was running food at the annual Oktoberfest, and eventually becoming board president. That's kind of a leadership story. That's how you get involved. One of the cartoons I have on the bullet board is at Doonesbury, where he's talking to the pastor, and they said, well, how did you start your church? And he said, it was yoga. I started having yoga classes, and then pretty soon too many people were coming for yoga, so then we had to expand to Tai Chi, and then pretty soon we had a church. It's the stuff we do together that makes the church alive and strong. It's by sharing the things that we're excited about, the passions that we have, and by listening to the people around us and really pay attention that we realize that we are all in this together. And you don't have to be the person at the podium. You don't have to. Sometimes it's just as simple as saying kindly and respectfully, I see it differently. Just making space for a different opinion in a world when we all just want to get along can be an enormous leadership moment. And that's okay. Just remember, the places that you bring your whole self are the best places. I did serve as board president at St. Mary's, and we had a different priest, not Father Egan, who was challenging. He and I butted heads a lot because I was trying to bring a sense of spiritual connection to our board meetings, to remember that we were doing holy work in the minutiae of the budget and the church planning. And I asked him, couldn't we begin our meetings with a simple prayer? He responded by bringing this 2-page long prayer, incredibly boring, that he droned on and on and on until everybody's eyes glazed over. And then he looked at me and smiled. He said, "Are you happy now?" Yay. Shortly after that, I got divorced and I left the church and I moved away. But years later, I stopped back and I was at a store and I ran into the person who was the principal of the school at the church, and she was delighted to see me, which surprised me because I didn't even think she knew who I was. And she told me I'd been the best board president she'd ever seen at that church. That surprised the heck out of me because I did nothing flashy. I didn't have any power. I didn't know what the heck I was doing. But what I wanted us to do is to remember what we were doing with a sense of intention and connected to the larger holiness around us. And that is such a powerful way of bringing what is deep in everybody's heart to the surface and allowing us to connect on very different ways. I brought my passion and my conviction, and that touched a chord with other people in the room. And each and every one of us can do that. We can all live fully into this moment and lead by living our lives according to our own values and principles. I do hope you'll all stay for the annual meeting and find your own leadership moments, whatever they might be. This is your church, and you claim it by showing up and bringing your whole self. Amen, and blessed be.
There were 2 more names left off our litany of thanks. I think we should thank Revs Pam and Revs Karen. As you can see, we believe that there's a place for everyone here, and we're setting up for that now. As we have been reminded most weeks, there's even a place for... Yes!
The word courage comes from the Latin cor, which means heart. According to poet Mark Nepo, the original use of the word courage meant to stand by one's core, a striking concept that reinforces the belief found in almost all traditions that living from the center is what enables us to face whatever life has to offer.
To encourage means to hearten, to impart strength and confidence. And this is our work as a religious community, to encourage one another, to be bold in engaging the world around us, as well as what scares us internally, and to give one another the confidence and heart to live as fully as possible. I invite you to say our last words together. With full
hearts, we affirm our relationships with one another. We recognize our agency and our connective power, and we accept our responsibility to be bold and courageous.
Please arise, embody your spirit, and sing our closing hymn, number 1028, Fire of Commitment.
Please join me in saying our closing words together. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of its truth, the warmth of this community, nor the fire of our commitment. These we carry in our hearts and share with all the world.